Hello, it's Monday and on we go with Latin. But before I go on further, let me explain a little bit about what I intend to do with Latin and Shakespeare. Possibly by the end of this week, I will give a quiz. I'll show you how I would quiz you on both these subjects, both Latin and Shakespeare. It might be the beginning of next week, I'm not sure. I'm only going to take Latin a little further, and so I've shown you a couple things about Latin grammar. Then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to have some Latin text on the board, which you'll be able to read better. I'm still having some trouble with erasing. And I'll expect you to write down an English translation of it. And then with the Shakespeare, what I'm going to do is, and I would normally allow students to use their notes. That really should be very easy. For some students it wasn't. I don't know why. And then with the Shakespeare, what I'll do is, again, I let students use their notes. And once again, I tell a tiny bit about each Shakespearean play that I've described. And say, name the play. So that's coming. I held my students responsible for listening to the stories about Shakespeare. All right, with Latin, the board was so hard to read because of the shine, it was wet, that I decided to write them again. Ambulant means walk. There's an NT on the end of it. It would be ambulare is the infinitive, and you should be gathering these in your notes. Cantant, you already had cantare, with an NT in the end meant they sing, they walk. Breve, you could call that an adjective, brief or short. And tempore, I would call that a noun. Time, although with the ending it ends up acting like an adverb, soon. I had the word heart written on the board without I had it spelled wrong. A pound of flesh, Shylock was going to cut the heart out. All right, going on with the Latin. Flavia quae est puella strenua. Here, this means Flavia, who is a girl, strenua, strong. I think in that little book they translate it as active or something, but since it's related to strength, and probably, well, no, yeah, it's related to strength. I think it's easier to translate it as strong. Flavia, who is a strong girl, in agris curit, well, in the fields. Here's a new verb, and it means to run, runs. Now you can see the T at the end of it. That indicates third person singular, she runs. Flavia, who is a strong girl, runs in the field. Brevi tempora, brief time, in a brief time, or soon if you wish. Flavia quoque, also, est defessa. You have all these words. So Flavia also is tired. Iam, now, Flavia et Cornelia sub arbore sedent. Now, Flavia and Cornelia, they sit. See the NT? They sit under a tree, or under the tree. You have all those words. Quod defesse sunt. Because they are, because, here's where we get the they are tired. Now, this ends with an AE because it's compound, whereas Flavia, here it ended with an A because it was only Flavia. This is singular, this is plural. This must agree with what it's modifying. This must agree with what it's modifying. Tandem, this is translated at last, and I don't know any other better way to translate it. Tandem, consider that an adverb as you write your vocabulary down. Tandem puelle defesse, the tired girls, Now it gets more interesting. You see, that little book is little by little making the grammar trickier. Puelle defesse ex agris ad vilam rusticam lente ambulant. And here I have students stumble. They've been understanding, but now they have trouble. Ex means out, or out of. Out of. Let's put the of in parentheses. That is a preposition. Ad means to, or toward. To, but with the idea of toward. Villa, you already have. It's a villa. But it ends with an M. See, this is new grammar. That's the objective case, or in Latin it's called the accusative case. This is the word villa. Rustica you already have, the rustic villa. But now it ends with an M, because it has to agree with villam. And why that is like that is because it's the object of a preposition. And this preposition takes the accusative case. Endings are so critical. So in your inflections, I guess I would say, I think you should put that, well, let me finish the sentence. To the villa, toward the rustic villa, lente ambulant. Lente is slowly. Call that an adverb. So at last, the tired girls, they walk. You have to go all the way to the end to make this English. They walk out of the fields toward the rustic villa slowly. In English, they walk slowly out of the fields toward the rustic villa. And I would add this inflection like this, that nouns and adjectives that end with I think I use a comma, that end with an M, that indicates accusative. In English called objective case. And if you don't understand what that means, well, I guess the thing to do would be go back and look at the English grammar that I taught you, and this is the difference between he and him. Him in English is the objective case. Might be a little bit puzzling to you by now. It becomes puzzling to the students about that point. Okay, I have two plays to tell you about, two Shakespearean plays to tell you about. So come back.